It counts. That's what I got for you. OKC leads the series now 3-2. You didn't have A.J. Mitchell or Jalen Williams again in this one. But here we go. SGA with 32. Caruso finishes with 22, 6 assists, 3 steals. God, he's annoying. Jared McCain, 20 points. They did some tweaks to the starting lineup. Wemby finishes with 20 and Stephon Castle with 24.6 assists. 44% from 3 is what OKC shot. Look, we're through the 5 games. This is obviously the series that everyone, well, the only one left for us to watch, but the one that everyone wanted. And I'm wondering, Lou, when you try to describe a gap between OKC and the Spurs, or Spurs and everybody else, like how big a gap are we really looking at based off last night?
It starts with the role players and it starts with the bench. It's the same conversation that we've had time and time again about OKC. They can reach to a number of guys and get some really good production and high production from anybody on any given night. A team that had no A.J. Mitchell last night or Jalen Williams, no problem. We're going to put McCain in the starting lineup. We're going to keep Caruso at that 6-man position, and we're going to see what that look gives us. And it worked. I don't think Jared McCain has found a shot that he doesn't like yet. Like, when you talk about a guy that's just ultra aggressive, has the ultimate green light on a team that he's coming too late, that he wasn't a part of this initial group, but for him to come in and fit in this way and be a scoring punch that they needed, and to be inserted into the starting lineup, his first playoff game to be able to start, and him to have the game that he had was amazing. Alex Caruso, what his impact has been on both ends of the floor, has been consistent throughout the playoffs, and especially in this series. This team can go to guy after guy after guy and get something out of them and to be able to right the ship, even when you feel like it's not going to be right with guys in and out of the lineup. And that's one of their best strengths this year. No team has been able to use that against them. 2 games ago, I said it, they played 11 guys in the first quarter. That should tell you everything about the makeup of this group. But they go so deep in their bench, they just continue to plug and play guys. I think they got a piece of that from the team that they're playing against, kind of using that strategy against them to be able to plug and play guys and having a strong system and a background that they can fall to. And that's how they've been able to play throughout the course of this run against San Antonio.
Yeah, when talking about Jared McCain, like, do you know how comfortable and confident you have to be to get traded mid-season to any team and go and play with the kind of confidence and rhythm that he's playing with, let alone the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the best team in the NBA, and he just gets traded in and just fits in right away and becomes an immediate huge part of their offense. And there's such a great system to where it doesn't matter if he's starting, if he got a DMP the night before, if he played 15 minutes or 30 minutes, the guy is the same consistent player. And Lou mentioned, Alex Caruso has been phenomenal. Casey Wallace, we haven't even talked about very much. He's a starting shooting guard on pretty much every other team in the NBA. A.J. Mitchell is the second leading scorer on this team in the playoffs. And he's been a non-factor in the conference finals. Like, it's just crazy how good and how much bench depth that this team has. And it really is the definition of a plug and play. Now, how much separation is it? They're only up 1 game going back to San Antonio, where it looks and we hope that it's going to be, a game 7. So it's not like the discrepancy is crazy far off, but it's just, it doesn't matter who plays. Like, I don't care who's out unless it's SGA in game 6, because somebody on that bench will step it up, whether it's the other Jalen Williams, if a big goes down, whether it's Isaiah Joe, who's one of the best shooters in the NBA, who just doesn't get the opportunity that a lot of these guys get. There's always someone there to plug in and play and produce and help this team win games. So I think their bench is the best. San Antonio's right on it, but there's the discrepancy in this team. It's really close, man. Like, think about it. Like, we're going to game 6 back in San Antonio, and I'd probably, if I was a betting man, take San Antonio in that game. Like, it's so that these teams are pretty equal, and this series has been awesome.
Yeah, it's fine. Jared McCain. Jared McCain is the only player on this team I like, and it's probably because he's new, so that'll wear out. But what is crazy about Jared McCain, he is hella confident. I mean, the dude came into this league, people thinking he wasn't serious because of his TikToks and his fingernail polish or whatever. Do you know how badass you have to be to win over Philly sports fans, that when you got traded, they were angry about it? Like, that is, you've made it. And then on top of that, Daryl Morey claiming that when he pulled this trade off, that he was selling high. I don't know a lot about stocks. I leave that to the others. I don't think that's accurate, you guys. Chandler, I don't think that that's true, and I think they're going to regret this for quite some time.
No, Well, Daryl Morey got fired.
He did.
Well, I don't know if that
should tell you everything you need to know right there.
That played a huge part of, obviously, the extension with Joel Embiid and his health, Paul George contract. There's a lot of things that went a little sideways in Philly, but this Jared McCain trade really never made sense from Rip. This is a guy that was runaway rookie of the year. I always talk about this, and then he got hurt, but he dominated 75% of this season, just scoring, doing exactly what he did now on a worse team with more opportunity. I just can't help but think how good he would have been for the future with Maxey and with Edgecombe. So I really think they're going to miss out on this, and I think he's going to be a pivotal piece for the future on this team, which is insane to say because we just talked about how many good players they have, and he got traded midway through the season, and he's already one of their best players. So that just shows you there how hard this kid works, how talented he is, and how much this other outside noise and other stuff that he does off the court doesn't matter because this kid's a hooper, and he produces, and he's a hell of a basketball player, helping a hell of a team most likely advance to the NBA Finals. So shout out to him. He's unreal, and I just can't get over his confidence to go into this situation and this team with such success, the returning champs, and have the impact he's had is remarkable.
Yeah, you know what you just said, Chandler? Like all of the off the court stuff, he just like to dance and paint his nails. Like
he's awesome.
Like, is he conventional? No, but is he harming anybody? Absolutely not. He's having a great time. And when this trade happened, what did we do? We gave credit to Sam Presti again. We were like, well, there he goes making moves. We didn't even look at the Philadelphia side of it because we thought it was a brilliant move for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, on the flip side of it with Philadelphia, I don't know what Daryl Morey was thinking and when he made this trade. Now you look at a Philadelphia team that needed another small guard, that needed somebody to be aggressive on the offensive end and to play with energy in a playoff series where you ran out of gas. This stuff starts to become a blinking light where you're like, wait a minute. So why did we trade him again? Why did we get rid of this guy again? And now he's showing you what his worth is on the biggest stage in the world. He's one game away from getting to a championship game. And he's been a big focal point of them having success in this playoff. So will this be something that hunt Philly for years to come? Who knows? Let's see how they retool. But what we do know is in this present moment, he is a big factor in a team that's winning basketball games in the Western Conference Finals. And he has an opportunity to get to a championship.
Yeah.
And being on that team.
Awesome.
And selling high is just wrong. This kid is young. He's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to work on the rest of his game, not just a shot making everything. I can see him turning into even like a PG later in his career. Like selling high it's not right. I
feel like
Sam Presti stole this dude.
Yeah, it feels like selling high is like maybe Daryl got it confused for a second. Maybe he meant selling low because I don't think he got that one right. I had to look it up too to remind myself. Look, we were going to get to it. I just want to preface this. I hate that this is the main topic right now coming out of this series. I don't want to talk about refs. I hate it. It's never been something I like to argue about because it shouldn't be. But it would be stupid to ignore the fact that this has become a bit of an issue. It trends. A lot of fouls called in the first half, some huge missed calls in the second half, a tech on Mitch Johnson that I don't know what that even was. So we're going to hear from Steph Castle first, and then we'll get into it.
Trying to play through it, it's tough. I just think with the way they guard, how physical they are, we don't get that same luxury to be able to play as physical on the other end at times. But offensively, I think we do a good job of screening and playing through it. So
I love it because Steph Castle do be fouling. Chandler, what do you think? Is there, just to the naked eye watching these games, does it feel to you like OKC has just allowed a little more physicality than perhaps San Antonio has been?
Maybe sometimes, but I always think the more physical team gets away with more contact and more physicality. That's just how you're coached. If you're going to dog someone 94 feet, a lot of times you get the benefit of the doubt of the whistle. That's what coaches always emphasize, saying, hey, you be physical, you bring the fight to them, you throw the first punch, because they never catch the first guy, right? And so I think they do get away with some stuff just because of the physicality they play with. I think as the Spurs, they do a lot of things too. And by the way, they shot 6 more free throws than them last night. So It wasn't like it was that crazy. And I think in the previous games,
series, by the way.
Yeah, I think San Antonio got more free throws in a couple of the previous games. So it's not like it's the Thunder are getting the whistle, or they're getting a more favorable whistle. I don't see that. I just think the inconsistency is frustrating as a player. Some of the tic-tac calls were pretty bad, and it's just a tough watch, honestly, as an NBA fan. You don't want to see 70 free throws taken, the whistle just constantly blowing, and you always hear the term playoff basketball, how it's more physical. And then the refs sometimes call a tic-tac foul, and then sometimes they don't. So I see both sides. I see the frustration, but OKC does do a great job being so physical early that they can get away, and they have a little bit more of that luxury to not get the whistle every single time down, rather than a team that's not as physical defensively. But San Antonio is also very physical, so I see the frustration.
Here's my thing. I think both teams are playing physical. I think both teams are doing a great job of getting to the free throw line. And I've always said it. That's the art form. Only a certain type of player can be afforded the fact to be able to get to the free throw line at the clip that an SGA does. Wemby is another one of those guys that can get to the free throw line and understands we're playing a game inside of the game. OKC last night did a great job of getting San Antonio in the bonus early and using it to their advantage. They even got into the bonus when SGA was on the bench. He had nothing to do with this team fouling. They were just hacking, right? And so when he comes back into the game, naturally, what is he going to do? He's going to put himself in a position to get to the free throw line because he understands the nuances of defenses. He understands now you can't hand check me. You can't do some of the things that you would naturally be able to do or afforded to do when you're not in the bonus. But because you're in the bonus, I'm going to be ultra aggressive and I'm going to use that against you. That's playing a game inside of a game. Fans don't love it. They don't love to see it. But that's what comes with this game when you're trying to win, when you're trying to get easy points. And my other problem with San Antonio is this. They fouled 90 feet from the basket. Like, I love pressure up the floor. I love the aggression. But you guys are fouling 90 feet from the rim. And once they cross half court, you're still reaching and hand checking, knowing you're in the bonus. That's where some of the immaturity comes in that we talked about, them not understanding some of these things in the playoffs. You got to be able to back up a little bit and understand how this game is being called. And also understanding, know your personnel, know the referees that are calling the game. When you see certain referees out there, you know it's going to be a certain style of whistle that you're going to be allotted for this basketball game, and you got to be able to adjust that. That comes with experience. That comes with these young guys knowing the referees, understanding these referees, and thinking that knowing that some of these guys have a tighter whistle. So it's not great for the fans to watch at sometimes when you see so many free throws being shot. But at the end of the day, you got to understand the art form of this stuff. I know people won't understand the art of it and won't respect it because it affects your team or what have you, or it's not great to watch. But these are legitimate fouls, whether we like it or not. And San Antonio has to be able to adjust to that, or just become a smarter team and be able to blend in some of these things. Now, they did miss some glaring things last night.
And they weren't fouls they missed.
I watched the goaltend. I was like, that is a clear goaltend. How was that not called? Miss Johnson asking for a challenge in front of the referee's face. That was clear. Some of these things were clear, but at the end of the day, the free throw discrepancy to me from both teams, I don't think had as big of an impact on this game as OKC just going out and putting belt down. That's it. That's a go-to.
Listen, that's crazy. And I always say it's easy to watch it again in slow mo. That's a crazy missed call. Like that's nuts. Like this in a stage of this and the magnitude of this game, it's tough to think you can miss a call like that. But again, that's just a blown call. That happens both ways. It happens all the time. This has been going on for a while. I think guarding Lou Will, you know how impossible it was to guard Lou Will without fouling him? And that was an art. That was a gift he had. You had to have a certain level of discipline to guard Lou because you knew he was going to get the whistle. He's going to go left. He's going to stop. He's going to get the foul. Like, defenders have to now be more disciplined, knowing how these offensive guys are so talented at getting the whistle. So, you have to have that understanding, like guarding James Harden, you can't reach. He's going to swing through. He's going to do that. Like, there's certain players that on the scouting report, the first thing you see is how to defend them without fouling. And I think a lot of these times, these young guys, they don't do that. And even last night, for example, watching that first half was dreadful. Like, when I saw that the Thunder, they had 20 first half free throws. You know how many the Spurs had? They had 19. They had one less free throw than them. Like, so it's hard to argue
There were
favorable
70.
whistle for the Thunder, but like
70.
I just think it's too much
It's
in
a lot.
general, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
lot,
you.
but also, again, you got to put the onus on yourself. Like I love the fact that last game they took responsibility for it and they said, we just got to be smarter. We got to be smarter than that. And then you come into another game where you're in the bonus. Why are y'all one-on-one pressuring SGA of the court 90 feet from the rim and pushing them down at half court? Instead of pushing them over or hand checking, go back into your bag that you had some success with. Just go double him, take the ball out of his hands, but don't take it upon yourself to take on this matchup and it don't go your way, knowing that he's going to rig it up to a way where he's going to swipe through or he's going to bring it to the referee's attention to get to the free throw line because he knows I'm in a bonus with 7 minutes to go. He understands that. And so San Antonio has to understand that as well. But I'm in agreement with you, Beetle. I don't want to see a game with 70 free throws, but I also want to see some of these young guys be smarter than that and keep themselves in the game. Keldon Johnson, he was having a good game. Limited by foul trouble. Steph Castle, limited by foul trouble. These are big, impactful players that you need on the floor. They also have to be smarter than that in knowing the referees that you are dealing with and understanding the moment as well.
This is crazy. Look, I'm just going to say this now in case OKC does advance to the finals. Do you know how unlikable you have to be to the rest of the country when they're going to root for the Knicks because they cannot root for the Thunder in good conscience? Like, that is a crazy
I got news for you.
twist of
If
fate.
they worried about flopping, this is going to be a flop-a-thon with the Knicks if this goes through. So, but
Man,
I don't qualify it as flopping. I think it's foul drawing. You're drawing fouls.
Foul
Now, flopping is
drawing.
one. Yeah, what Chandler just said about me. I don't have a reputation as a flopper. I have a reputation as somebody that draws fouls. You
Well, now I'm
understand?
blaming you for SGA. How about that?
Big difference.
part of the game.
I showed him a couple of little things. I'm sure that he
Damn,
visually he picked up on some things and he flipped it to his liking. But again, if I know I'm in the bonus at 7.5 minutes in a game, the defender should know that as well. Back up a little bit. You should know that as well.
Fair. All right. Well, let's get to the Wemby of it all. Not his best night. It was pretty early on, too. I think Jamal Crawford was the one that was pointing it out the most, that he was not being his aggressive, assertive self, which we've seen in the wins and has been very striking. He finishes with 24, 15, 6 rebounds. I don't know why he sort of has these off and on games as far as assertiveness, Lou, but correct me if I'm wrong here. We need the monster Wemby, right? Like, he's got to come out from the jump.
I would agree, and that was more impactful to me than the referees. You just saw it in Game 4 when he's ultra aggressive. Everybody has to conform to that. OKC has to conform to that. His teammates have to conform to that. He's such a dominant presence. When he decides that he wants to be aggressive, everybody has to deal with him. Now, when he's in a position where somebody has to facilitate like this and he has to get his buckets off of somebody else making a play for him, they're just not as strong as a team. I didn't like the fact that he didn't have as many attempts in this game. I didn't feel like he was aggressive. A lot of his scoring and a lot of his impact came from the free throw line. I didn't love that. It just seemed like this was one of those kind of games where he just floated through and he didn't find his aggression. He was looking for his aggression. He was looking for that power punch in the 3-point line. And I didn't love that. He went 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. You got to put more pressure on these guys. At your size, how you've been able to dominate, you just got to be more assertive. You got to be more part of the offense, if not the offense, for this team to be successful and win games. And so I expect him to adjust again in a pivotal Game 6. But last night, I just didn't see that fire in that fight, like you just mentioned, Beats, that we've seen up until this point for them to be the team that we've grown accustomed to them being.
Yeah, I just don't. It's not like they don't know how important it is to get them off to a good start too, and to have that energy. And even last night, I saw Chet. The first play of the game, he got the offensive rebound, took one dribble sideways backwards, and took the shot. And I was like, and he made it. And I was like, I love the fact that he did that after the question with SGA the night before, just to show that urgency and to show that I'm going to be aggressive tonight. And he did it. Like the first 2 or 3 plays of the game, he did that, got second attempts, offensive rebounds, and put it up. That's what we need to see Wemby to do in San Antonio, because it just sets the tone for the entire offense. It makes the defense just in such a confusing situation when you have this 7'6" guy that's just attacking nonstop. It opens up everything. It forces the defense to have to double team him. And I think that's when, Fox can get in the lane and get out in transition. That's where Harper's going to be great. That's where Castle can get downhill. Like when Wemby is doing that is when the whole floor opens up for this offense. And it's just too pivotal of a game last night for him not to do that and only take 15 shots. I'll never think 15 shots is enough for Victor Wembanyama. He's too good. He's too dominant. I'm totally okay with him taking 25 to 30 shots a game and willing his team to a win, because he's going to give the effort and the impact on the defensive end. That just comes with his size and his God-given talent on that side of the floor. He has to be just as dominant offensive, especially in this series with a team like with OKC. He's got to be dominant, and he's got to do it early, and I fully expect him to do that in Game 6. It's just weird to me he didn't do it last night.
It was weird because it's desperation mode. By the way, I am the bigger woman. I will admit Chet did reach the line on our little same game parlay we put together. So you're welcome for the motivation. Chet. Is Chet the whole name, or is that short? Anyways, after the game, Wemby, my brain went there. Didn't talk to the media, which is crazy because he also won like the award for, best guy with the media and all that stuff. We haven't heard